Hello and welcome to this very special interview. And we have a very special guest who has agreed very kindly for an interview. We have sports nutritionist Sayali Naik. First of all, Sayali, thank you so much for giving time from your busy schedule and agreeing for this talk with us. And before we begin with this interview, it is, very important for our viewers to know that the people who play sport have these very important people who have taken it upon themselves to look after the health and the wellness that sports persons keep fit both mentally and physically, and we should take each and every opportunity to thank such people like Sayali Naik, who have taken up nutritionism as a profession. So Sayali, without further ado, let's start right from the beginning. How the interest in sports nutrition, and how did you start working?
Yes, first of all, thank you for the welcome, Damini. It's very great to be interacting with you guys on CricZone. So basically, I was always more inclined towards biology, on health science, and always wanted to be a doctor from childhood. And also was more inclined in watching a variety of sports. So this is where I found the middle ground in choosing a career as well. So yeah, slowly I started, searching around and studying. So I did my master's in sports nutrition as well. So and then I started with working some domestic players in the start of my career. Then I started working or interning with Indian Navy athletes as well in the very start of my career. So then the work just boosted up, and then yes, I'm working with a lot of sports across sports disciplines, a lot of athletes from different sports, and it's fun. And it's good to be on the field, and I'm very passionate about the sports as well. Watching, working, being around the sports science, and helping athletes achieve their goals, performance-wise, fitness-wise, things like that. So yeah, that's how it is.
Sounds fascinating to hear from you such words, and to know that somebody has taken it upon themselves to dedicatedly give their time for such a noble cause, to work behind people so that they can perform so well on the fields every time. So, Sayali, why don't you tell us that how and why do you feel nutrition or fitness is so important or valuable for sports, or to be very categorical, for cricket?
Correct. So as we know, apart from the skills, apart from being the best in having those skill abilities of a particular sport, fitness is something that's important. And as we see a lot of athletes like Virat Kohli or maybe Ronaldo, they're so aesthetically fit, maybe aesthetically fit as well. So fitness is something that's the key component for any sports performance, be it any sport. So fitness comes with good training, with gym activities, and secondly with good diet habits. So that's how the athlete is gonna gain good fitness, and then those skills that are necessary for those particular sport will be more fruitful in performing those on field as well. So and before being an athlete, the athlete is a normal human being. So maintaining the basic health right, having good weight management, whether it's maintaining good body fat levels, having good amount of muscle mass levels, so that there is enough strength, power, all those fitness related abilities in them, so that they can perform more better, energetically, more powerful on the field, and have good recovery from back-to-back games as well. That's why nutrition is something that's important. support the fitness goals and to support the performance goals on the field.
You referred to some very famous personalities who have just never failed to impress or excel on the sports field. So now we know we are living in a world where men and women are equally excelling on the field, and probably that makes the job of a sports nutritionist a bit tougher with the times to come. So Shayali, we would want to know how and why nutrition or sports nutrition would be different for a male athlete and a female athlete. And you personally, as a nutritionist, how do you study that a male athlete, this is how the nutrition should be? Okay, it's a female athlete, this is how the nutrition should be.
Correct. So, athletically, a lot of things are, similar for a male and female athlete. But nutritionally, there could be some additional requirements wherein you have to focus on some areas for a female athlete differently and a male athlete, right? A lot of the girls they face a lot of menstrual issues if they don't eat well or overtrain too much, or their eating habits are not those great. Okay, so that can impact their general health, and that further can impact their performance or energy on the field as well. And hence focusing on some kind of nutrients or overall food pattern specifically for female athletes differently is something that's important. To have those menstrual issues sorted, to have those female related issues sorted, and that's how we can ensure maybe not to compromise the energy that is needed on. So yes, definitely female athletes require a little more different nutrition than a male athlete would.
At the beginning, when you started to speak, you referred to dealing with the domestic players. So how has the experience been? We always talk about international players or the players who have made it big on the international stage, but let's focus a bit about the players who are doing it on the home level, on the grassroots level. So how has your experience been with the domestic players?
Yes. So yes, it's definitely been different than I've been working with the elite ones. Okay, the elite players, for them things become a little more easy, maybe in managing, or maybe affordability and things like that, right? For domestic players, it might at times affordability might be a problem, or maybe availability might be a problem, things like that. Or maybe a lot of players at domestic levels are not aware on what nutrition might help or how things can work. So a lot of counseling goes more, making them understand on why particular nutrition strategy should be done, right from off season, pre-season, during the season, and how can that affect. So a lot of extra efforts go into making them understand, okay, this you should be doing this way, so that they are more motivated to do it lifelong, right? So that could be a difference in working with a domestic player and elite player, right? And I see a lot of players like that are working with in India. They have approached me for the first time, like they never have consulted any kind of nutritionist before, never have on diet specific things or supplement specific things. They have been always doing things on their own or managing stuff very rough. So after following certain kinds of things, they have become more aware on how their body is responding to those particular things, or if a thing is not working, then what alternative can be done, things like that. So this has been a very good experience that maybe I could help them right from their domestic time, so that they're more better ready when they're playing at elite level. And same goes for the junior players as well. So forget about working with all the senior most players. I have a lot of young population ranging from 10 to 15 as well. So they are also more motivated. Okay, yeah, we should be doing things right from this particular time. this particular age, so that their body is more adapted. They have better nutrition habits right from childhood, right from their adolescent time. So their body is more fitter, more better, and the performance is good right from the young age. So yeah, that has been a very good experience working with some child athletes as well as domestic, apart from the elite athletes.
And let's elaborate a bit more upon your experiences. Your experiences have been so fascinating. Let's talk about that inaugural WPL a few months ago, and you probably got to work with Team Delhi Capitals, and
Yes.
the Delhi Capitals. It was like evident how fascinating they were on the field. So tell us about that experience. Take us through. How was it with dealing with the Delhi Capitals players?
Correct. So yeah, I've been working with domestic players and Indian players from past half a decade. But working with the team as such has been a little more different experience because the team environment is such that we have to work with the coaches. We have to work with strength and conditioning to understand how their training patterns work, or we have to monitor their eating habits right at the table. Okay, you should be eating this. Okay, you should be maybe choosing these options if they are asking you. So yeah, being there on the field has been a different experience. So I used to be there on the in their practice sessions daily, in their gym sessions daily, just to monitor, okay, or get a real-time feedback on how their body is reacting, or maybe how they're feeling today on the field. If any player is complaining about energy lag, or maybe some recovery issue, or maybe overall any general health related problems. So that was great being there on the field, to be around them. So yeah, especially all the abroad guys, where their eating habits have been completely different than the Indian guys. So understanding their eating habits, altering, or maybe making suggestions, something on close by to them. So yeah, I mean, interacting with them, working on their fitness goals throughout the season, in back-to-back matches, if there are any kind of recovery issues, how can we deal about them in tandem with your training schedules as well. So yeah, I mean, working around with the team has been really good and a very different experience for that.